Hello, my loves. Welcome to the highlight of your day, and what better way to do that than with some good Yuri, right? So, let's get into it. Let's talk Yuri. Hold on to your hearts because today I'm bringing you the full recap of The Day I Tried to Go on the Offensive by Tamasaki Tama. I swear by everything sacred in the Yuri universe that this work is a crime. A crime that it's just too good. But before I start detailing every single second of perfection, let me introduce our protagonists, because these two deserve an introduction worthy of their greatness. First up, Anzu Mizushima, our little senpai, the cute one, the emotional maknae of this relationship. Anzu is the kind of girl you just want to protect. Short hair, expressive eyes that give away everything she's feeling, and that specific energy of, I really want to be brave, but my body simply refuses to cooperate. She works a regular office job, the type of employee who bends over backwards to get everything right. And she carries a massive love in her heart for a woman who, apparently, was born just to make Anzu's heart jump out of her chest. Anzu is passionate and determined in her plans, yet a total disaster in their execution, and absolutely adorable in every second of the panic she portrays. We root for her the same way we root for a puppy trying to climb a staircase. Second, Hosaka Saho. And here, friends, we need to stop and take a breath. Hosaka Saho is a being from another dimension. Tall, long, dark hair, a gaze that pierces through walls, and the posture of someone who has never been nervous a day in her life. Or at least that's what she wants everyone to think. Our dear Tsundere. She carries this aura of a powerful, untouchable woman that makes everyone around her walk on eggshells. But we, who are watching closely, already know that beneath all that ice lies an entire volcano waiting to erupt. Saho feels things. She feels a lot. She just doesn't know yet, or doesn't want to admit, the sheer scale of what she's feeling. Now that you know exactly who we're dealing with, let me tell you what happened in this wonderful story. The confession. The story kicks off with a flashback. And what a flashback it is, people. We're dropped right into a scene from a month ago. Anzu, bright red, in a restaurant, looking like someone who just made a point-of-no-return decision. She's sitting across from Hosaka, eyes wide, fingers probably trembling under the table, and she just puts it all out there. I like you. And would you be interested in going out with me? Guys, our little one actually went and did it. She just went for it. In a restaurant, with people around. With Hosaka sitting there with that blank wall face of hers. Personally, I would have fainted before even opening my mouth, but Anzu did it. Yes, this is a Yuri with zero stalling. It starts with all the cards on the table. And get this. That happened a month ago. 1 whole month. They've spent an entire month carrying that weight, wondering, is she going to say yes? I'm already spiraling and the story has barely even begun. Cut to the present. The office. Anzu is getting chewed out by her boss for a mistake, and she's standing there, hunched over, apologizing with that, I want to sink into the floor right now energy. The boss orders her to make 30 copies of a document, and Anzu leaves the room looking totally deflated. And where is Hosaka at this moment? Watching from a distance, with that marble-like expression, that gaze that reveals absolutely nothing, but also refuses to look away. She just stands there, static, watching Anzu take the heat. And we can't tell for the life of us what's going on inside her head, which, let's be honest, only makes us need to know even more. Then the blonde enters the scene. A high-energy, super affectionate coworker who comes running up to Anzu, apologizing because, surprise, surprise, the mistake was actually hers. She starts clinging to Anzu, gushing, Mizushima-senpai, you're so kind, being all touchy-feely and over the top, while Anzu tries to calm her down, saying it's no big deal. And it is exactly at this moment, my friends, that the vibe shifts, because Hosaka appears. She creeps up behind the blonde with that look. You know the one? The one that isn't outright rage, but is 100 times more dangerous than outright rage. She stares at the blonde girl hanging off Anzu and drops a line in the driest voice imaginable. Hey, could you get out of the way? The blonde bolts, literally runs away, muttering that Hosaka is terrifying as she disappears down the hallway. We're laughing, but we're also getting chills. Because the question remains, did Hosaka just happen to show up? Or did she go there specifically because someone was getting way too clingy with Anzu? The answer, darling, is written all over her face. Jealousy knocked on her door, and she let it right in. Anzu is left standing in the hallway with Hosaka, and we see both sides of the equation. The blonde escapes in a panic, and Anzu stands there trembling, but not from fear. Deep down, she knows that the blonde's clinginess hit a nerve with her crush. Hosaka turns to her and says, "Anzu-chan?" in that voice, and Anzu nearly implodes. Anzu decides it's time for action. She follows Hosaka to confront her, and they both end up in the ladies' room. Hosaka asks why Anzu took the fall for the boss when the mistake wasn't even hers. Anzu replies that as a manager, it's her responsibility. Hosaka insists that she is just too good and kind. She starts to say that, in reality, she is but she cuts herself off instantly. It's nothing. Forget it. And she walks out. She leaves Anzu standing there in the bathroom, blinking at thin air, trying to process if that was a rejection or a confession. We move on to the next scene, and now we've reached a whole new layer of the story. Hosaka texts Anzu asking if she's free tomorrow, and Anzu, who probably reread that message 20 times before replying, feels her heart jumping out of her chest. And then the narrative drops the most important piece of information. They are dating. Officially. Yes, a massive mystical leap actually happened. After that whole situation with the blonde girl, Hosaka agreed to be Anzu's girlfriend. Anzu reflects on it with that shy smile of someone still processing that the dream has finally become a reality, clutching her phone to her chest, feeling all pink inside. And now we are a couple. I could end the recap right here and my life would already be complete, but the story goes on. And it gets even better. Cut to the day of the date. Anzu arrived 30 minutes early. 30 minutes, guys. She showed up with the punctuality of a corporate board meeting, and she's having that classic internal monologue. Today I'm going to be different. Today I'm taking the reins. Today I'm the one in charge. She is determined. She has a plan. The plan, in short, is this: to show a dominant side, to make Saho see that Anzu isn't just a love-struck puppy, but a dom who's going to make Hosaka totally melt. Her energy is exactly like someone who rehearsed their speech in the mirror 3 times before leaving the house. And then Hosaka arrives. Hair down, wearing that long, elegant coat, with those eyes that always seem to know a secret that nobody else does. And Anzu, naturally, forgets every single thing she had planned and starts glowing inside just thinking about how beautiful her girlfriend is. She's so pretty. The thought escapes her, inevitable, before any domination plan can even take the stage. Hosaka notices that Anzu arrived early too and comments on it in her usual neutral tone. But there's something in her gaze that gives her away. She was early too. She was excited too. As they walk side by side, Hosaka notices that Anzu is walking slowly. Like, really slowly. She teases her senpai about her snail's pace with that daring little smirk. Hosaka takes a deep breath, a long, dramatic sigh, and Anzu immediately enters a state of existential panic. Why is she sighing? Is she regretting this? Is the date over before it even started? Anzu's internal monologue at this moment is a masterpiece of romantic anxiety that every lesbian in the world has felt at least once. But then, offense mode activates. Anzu decides that today is the day. She is going to make Saho surrender. And the thought that flashes through her mind, illustrated in a glorious panel of her in bed on top of Hosaka, both of them naked, with her making Hosaka all flushed and submissive. She thinks, I'm going to make Anzu show her obedient side. Wait. Anzu thought that about herself, in the third person, as if she were planning to dominate the very submissive version of herself that Saho brings out. This is so psychologically advanced that I had to stop and applaud the author. Back to reality, where Anzu, naturally, can't execute any of this. She stammers out a suggestion to hold hands so they can walk at the same pace. Hosaka was looking at a store window when she said it and didn't even notice. Yes, our Anzu-chan was left hanging. But stay calm, Anzu. We're still rooting for you. Don't give up. Anzu retreats, laughing nervously. Point for the universe, 0 for the domination plan. They go shopping, and later we see them on a park bench, surrounded by bags with that specific, newly formed couple vibe, still figuring out how to be together without imploding from all the feelings. They bought matching accessories, necklaces or hair clips, something that connects them visually. And Anzu is glowing, promising she'll take great care of the gift. Hosaka responds with, "I'll take care of mine too," with a gaze that says 12 different things at once while she blushes, and Anzu can barely handle it. And then comes the moment. Hosaka leans in toward Anzu, and our protagonist's brain literally freezes. If I move closer now and give her a kiss on the cheek? Anzu's mental camera zooms in on Saho's lips, the space between them shrinking, her heart racing. The atmosphere is at its peak. The tension is a physical thing right there on that park bench. Anyone walking by could have cut it with their hand. But she freezes, and then Anzu starts stretching. Stretching, people. She extends her arms, moves her neck, as if her body suddenly decided it was time for a quick gym break. Hosaka just stares with a what? Face, while she tries to deflect the moment by asking if Anzu didn't say she dislikes mustard. Anzu understands absolutely nothing. We understand everything. Hosaka was also at her limit, and that random topic was the only way she found to keep from exploding. Moving forward. The day's date ends, and Anzu reflects. She realizes that what she was trying to do in public is just too hard. There are people, there's the setting, there's the inhibition of being out in the street. But she has a plan B, and this plan B involves alcohol. Specifically, she's going to invite Hosaka to her place, have a few beers to gain some liquid courage, and finally execute the offensive that gives the story its title. The logic is impeccable. The implementation is going to be a glorious disaster. And that is exactly why we love Anzu. In the apartment, Anzu rushes to prepare snacks while Hosaka sits on the floor with all the composure in the world. The scene of the two of them sitting there, Hosaka with her massive presence even in a casual position, and Anzu scurrying back and forth, is the kind of contrast the author uses so well to show how these two complement each other without even needing to talk about it. Anzu serves a whole table of food: edamame, tofu, gyoza, the good stuff. And they open the beers and toast. And so, the night begins. They eat, they drink, they talk. Hosaka is in seventh heaven because Anzu is a great cook, and she declares it with genuine admiration, asking if her senpai would teach her more recipes another day. Anzu agrees. It's a simple yes, but it carries the implicit promise of more dates, more nights, and more open windows for this relationship to grow. Anzu processes this with a smile she tries and fails to hide. And then comes the moment that changed everything. Hosaka looks Anzu dead in the eye and announces, "I want you to call me by my name today." Anzu gulps and whispers, "Saho-san. Saho-san," repeating the name as if she's testing the flavor of it in her mouth. And Hosaka, this woman of marble, this untouchable manager, this creature with the piercing gaze, lets out a smile that is both beautiful and devastating to Anzu's heart. And she simply says, "Interesting. Guys, interesting." She found the sight of Anzu calling her by her name for the first time, all red-faced and stuttering. Interesting. This woman is a walking crime, and I am completely in love with her. And then Anzu loses it. In a move we didn't see coming, and one she clearly didn't expect from herself, she lunges forward. She pins Hosaka onto her back on the bed. They were already in the bedroom, the snack table left far behind. and gets on top, pinning Hosaka's arms against the mattress. Hosaka is in shock. Her eyes are wide. But also, there's something there. And, oh, so this is how you want to play look that flashes across her face before being replaced by something else entirely. Hosaka looks up at Anzu from below, and her expression shifts gradually. From shock to evaluation. From evaluation to that seductive disdain she uses as armor and a weapon at the same time. She says, in a voice that feels like a caress and a sentence all at once, "What a shame." And adds that even with the help of alcohol, Anzu can't actually manage to do anything. Anzu is paralyzed, beet red, with that computer-freezing look on her face. The entire plan crumbled in a single sentence. And then, Hosaka acts. She grabs Anzu's arm and with a fluid and absolutely cinematic movement, flips everything. She says she was going to let Anzu be in control for today, but that she took too long. She says, "I'm done waiting for you to reach your limit." She follows through on her words and turns the tables instantly. The positions are reversed. Hosaka is on top. Anzu is on the bottom. And the chapter sinks completely into that atmosphere we call inevitable. That moment when two people who should have reached this point a long time ago finally do. And the relief, desire, and nerves all crash in at once. Hosaka throws the little one against the bed, and Anzu just stays there, pinned, with her face on fire, while Hosaka leans in and starts attacking her neck with kisses and bites that you can practically feel the shivers from here. Hosaka's hand, firm, pinning Anzu's wrists above her head, is absurdly sensual, and we see that the little one is totally surrendered, letting out soft moans and completely losing control of the situation. Hosaka whispers in her ear, in that husky voice, that Anzu is cute, but that now she's going to learn how it's really done. I absolutely died at this part. Their bodies are pressed together, and sweat begins to appear on Hosaka's face, her gaze completely focused on her prey. Anzu tries to babble something, but Saho's kiss silences everything in a moment of voracious passion that leaves the sheets a mess and the room filled with that scent of love and danger in the air. They get lost there, in a tangle of legs and caresses, where Hosaka shows no mercy and explores every inch of Anzu, who only knows how to arch her body and beg for more. It is the pure essence of high-quality Yuri that we love, full of domination and absolute surrender. I am shook by all this heat. I can hardly believe that serious Hosaka hides such a hurricane inside the bedroom. And then we reach the final scene. The two of them are lying there under the covers with that afterglow vibe that doesn't need a caption because everything is already written on their faces. Anzu is curled up, silently processing the fact that her plan to be the dominant one was completely dismantled in a matter of seconds. Hosaka is beside her with that satisfied expression of someone who knew exactly what was going to happen from the moment she stepped through the apartment door. Anzu tries to save what's left of her dignity and declares, with all the seriousness she can muster while wrapped in a blanket after being completely turned inside out, "Next time, I'll be the one on top." Hosaka takes this declaration with the calm of someone who just won a championship and hears their opponent say the rematch will be different. She doesn't laugh. She doesn't mock her. She just listens with that corner-of-the-mouth smirk that says everything she isn't going to say out loud. I'll be looking forward to that. And finally, the closing image. Their hands finding each other on top of the covers, fingers interlaced with the natural ease of people who are exactly where they're supposed to be. No drama, no performance. Just two women who, after everything, chose each other. Girl, I need you to understand the level of masterpiece we're dealing with here. Tamasaki Tama has built a romance that works on every single layer. It has humor, tension, and that insane chemistry between two completely different characters who somehow fit together perfectly. Anzu is the beating heart of the narrative. Imperfect, anxious, brave in the wrong way at the right time, and completely real in a way that makes us see ourselves in her with equal parts embarrassment and affection. And Hosaka is the mystery the story unravels bit by bit, because beneath all that control is a woman who waited, who observed, who felt everything at her own pace. and when she decided it was time, she just went for it. What kills me about this story isn't just the atmosphere or the sexual tension overflowing from every page. It's the subtlety the author uses to show that these two truly care for each other. It's the look on Hosaka's face when that blonde girl was hanging all over Anzu. It's Hosaka showing up early to the date just because she woke up early, as if she were anxious too, in her own way. It's the smirk that escapes when Anzu says her name for the first time, the matching accessories they chose together, the interlaced hands at the very end. This isn't just a physical romance. It's two people learning how to be together. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and until the next recap, like, comment, subscribe, and let's spread the word of Yuri to the world together.